How to Identify Congruent Triangles by Tom DeSimone. Welcome to my wonderful video. The goal of instruction, students need to comprehend and apply congruence postulates and theorems for triangles to meet the requirements to pass the high school geometry end of course exam and receive credit for the course. Objectives. When given pictures of several triangles, students will be able to classify triangles by their sides and angles. When given a group of different types of triangles, students will be able to prove triangles are congruent given information about their sides and angles. Students will be able to use triangle congruence and corresponding parts to prove other parts of triangles congruent. Students will be able to analyze triangles, similar triangles and special triangles by studying triangles during an online scavenger hunt. Common Core Standards. Explain how the criteria for triangle congruence follow the definition of congruence in terms of rigid motions. Benchmarks. Use properties of congruent and similar polygons to solve mathematical or real-world problems. Classify, construct, and describe triangles that are right, acute, obtuse, scalene, isosceles, equilateral, and equiangular. Construct triangles congruent to given triangles. Prove that triangles are congruent to similar, and use the concept of corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Vocabulary. Side, side, side. Triangles are congruent if all three sides in one triangle are congruent to the corresponding sides in the other. Angle, side, angle. Triangles are congruent if any two angles and their included side are equal in both triangles. Angle, angle, side. Triangles are congruent if pairs of corresponding angles and a pair of opposite sides are equal in both triangles. Side, angle, side. Triangles are congruent if any pair of corresponding sides and their included angles are equal in both triangles. And our last one is hypotenuse, leg. Two right triangles are congruent if the hypotenuse and one corresponding leg are equal in both triangles. Now let's talk about the side postulate. If the three sides of one triangle are congruent to three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So if AB equals DE, BC equals EF, and AC equals DF, then triangle ABC equals triangle DEF. So now let's take a look at some examples. Okay, so we have an example of the side postulate. We have ABC is equal to XYZ. All three sides are congruent, as you can see by the tick marks on the triangles. And to prove that these triangles are congruent, ZX has to be equal to CA. XY has to equal AB, and YZ has to equal BC. So therefore, by the side postulate, the triangles are congruent. Now remember, when writing the triangles, they need to be written in the proper order. Now we can look at this side angle side postulate. So if two sides and the included angle of one triangle are congruent to two sides and the included angle of another triangle, then the true triangles are congruent. So if AB equals DE, BC equals EF, and angle B equals angle E, then the triangles ABC is equal to triangle DEF. And now we're going to take a look at some examples, or at an example of the side angle side postulate. So again, we have triangle ABC and triangle XYZ. And the two sides and the included angle are congruent by the tick marks. We have AC is equal to ZX, angle ACB is equal to angle XEY, and CB is equal to ZY. And again, therefore, by the side angle side postulate, the triangles are congruent. And again, remember, when looking at the triangles, look at those tick marks that tell us that the sides or angles are congruent. Now for the angle side angle postulate, if two angles any included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles any included side of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. So angle B equals angle E, angle C equals angle F, and side BC equals side EF. So our two triangles ABC is equal to DEF. Now we're going to take a look at an example of the angle side angle postulate. So we again have triangles ABC equal to triangle XYZ, and the two angles in the included side are congruent. Again, you can see by the tick marks there. Okay, so let's take a look here. We have angle CAB is equal to angle ZXY, and we're going to have side AB equal to side XY, and we're going to have angle ACB equal to angle XZY. And again, therefore, by the angle side angle postulate, the triangles are congruent. So now we are going to move along to another postulate, and this is the angle side theorem. So if two angles in a non-included side of one triangle are congruent to two angles in a non-included side of another triangle, then the triangles are congruent. So if AC equals DF, angle C equals angle F, and angle B equals angle E, then triangle ABC is equal to triangle DEF. And here is an example of that. Again, we have triangles ABC equal to XYZ, and we have two angles in a non-included side congruent. You can see by the tick marks. So angle A equals angle X, angle C is equal to angle Z, and side AB is equal to side XY. So, therefore, by the angle side postulate, the triangles are congruent. So now we have the hypotenuse leg theorem. If the hypotenuse and a leg of one right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and leg of another right triangle, then triangles are congruent. So if AB equals DE and CB equals FE, then triangle ABC will equal triangle DEF. And remember, these are for right triangles only. So let's take a look at an example of the hypotenuse leg theorem. So we have ABC and XZY, and they're both right triangles since they both have right angles. So ABZ is equal to XZ, that's the hypotenuse of both triangles. And we also have AC equal to ZY, those are the sides or legs of the right triangles. So ABC equals XYZ by the hypotenuse leg theorem, which states that two right triangles are congruent if their hypotenuses are congruent and a corresponding leg is congruent. So now let's talk about the conditions for the HL theorem. To use the HL theorem, the triangles must meet three conditions. The first conditions are that the triangles are both right triangles. The triangles have congruent hypotenuses, and there is one pair of congruent legs. So remember those conditions for. So this basically concludes our lesson. Now it's time to try the scavenger hunt. So get into your groups. Each member of the group will have an assigned for the scavenger hunt. At the conclusion of the scavenger hunt, you will complete 2 assessments individually. Good luck and have fun, and I hope